To check out another video. I'm going to take a look at one tonight from Prairie Artisan Ales out of Kansas, and this is actually going to be a look at their screenshot beer. It was one that I picked up when I did a beer run. Came in a 32-ounce crowler, so you don't have the Prairie artwork on this one here. 11% ABV. Picked it up there on the 9th of January. I'm going to finally have a little bit of time to sit down and enjoy this one. Came from Braxton Labs, one of our other breweries that had it there on the guest tap. And if you saw that video, then yeah, this was actually one of the deals there. All the crowlers that day, $7 a crowler. I think this was usually like 17, I believe. I think I saved 10 that day or whatever, but that's neither here nor there. Looking forward to seeing what it has to offer. As far as a look at the actual artwork for Prairie Artisan Ales. I always want to say artisanal instead of artisan because I'm used to saying Stillwater artisanal. But anyway, it's a screenshot. Is their Imperial Stout with hazelnut roasted coffee. Not sure if this is like a nice one I want to drink tonight. Or, it's 9:25 here in the East. I'm not going to bed for a while, but hopefully the coffee doesn't keep me up too much later. 11% ABV. So nice artwork on here, kind of crazy looking, but if you know Prairie, you know their cans are kind of like this. We don't know what's going on here in the office. You get that crazy thing there in the middle with the screenshot where it's set like a target. You got one guy on the left side looking like he's just there trying to get his work done, and on the right side, everything is broken loose in the office. So, interesting artwork, interesting take on it. Let's go ahead and get this baby cracked open and get it into the glass here. Always enjoy a nice Prairie beer. They just always seem to do a great job on the stuff they make. Trying to watch the drip out of this crowler here. All right. Wow. Now, right now, I'm not even trying to sniff the aroma, and I'm already getting a nice feel of the hazelnut coffee coming out of the glass. You can see here, nice two-finger head on there. You get a nice head on there. You always want to try to do that if you can because it opens up the aromas. Also, as I mentioned in other videos, it works well to release the gases of protein so you don't feel bloated afterward. But check out the head action. You got some nice sized bubble action in there, small to some quite larger sizes compared to the other bubbles, and it got a little bit of a foaminess, nice, pretty much dark tan head, I guess you could say, maybe a dark beige type color. Body of the beer, pretty dark. Get a light behind it, really a deep dark brown, pretty much a jet black color. Wow, you get that nice hazelnut feel. If you're a coffee fan and you enjoy hazelnut coffee, this right here is just screaming it right out of the glass. I mean, it's like a morning cup of joe. So definitely digging that. Not getting too much else now. I do pick up a little bit of a vanilla type feel in here as well. And with that hazelnut, it's almost like it adds a little bit of a spice kick to it in the background. Taste-wise, oh wow. For 11% ABV, that baby is nice and smooth. It's got a nice fullness to the body. It's got a nice thicker type feel to the texture. You get a little bit of a syrupy type feel in the texture. But it just pretty much lays right on the tongue and slides down the throat without any problem at all. Has a creaminess to the texture in there. You really feel the flavors on this one. For me, I'm feeling them in the roof of the mouth. Got a nice little bit of a stickiness in this beer. They're just lingering. The flavor isn't going anywhere on this one. It's just hanging out It's making me want to relax and enjoy it, not have to rush into the next one. Deep coffee appeal in the taste, along with the aroma that you picked up. Wow, this is again, it's Prairie, so you expect them to do good things. Hey, what's happening, Craig? Cheers, my friend. Happy Saturday to you. Well, actually, happy Sunday to you now, because Kent Beer Reviews, Craig, who is actually over in the UK, 5 hours ahead of me. So for him, it's 2:30 in the morning. Appreciate you swinging in, my friend. He's such a night owl. It's got a little bit of a nice sweetness in there as well. Yeah, right? Big boy beer. Oh, yeah. And not a little one either. So what I actually cracked open, Craig, was the 32-ounce crowler that I picked up from one of my local breweries that had it on as a guest tap. So, yeah, big one here. First one of the day, first one of the night for me. I was doing some other things today, updated some things with the YouTube channel, and then some other stuff earlier. Watched West Virginia lose the basketball game, and finally getting some time here where I can actually kick back and enjoy a beer. I said, which one do I want to talk about tonight? And I grabbed the Prairie. So what are you sipping on right now, Craig, if you're still drinking anything at this time? This one has a nice dessert feel to it. You could easily pair this up with the... I just had those chocolate marshmallow cookies that were Oreo. This would have been good to have with those chocolate marshmallow Oreos. But you can have this with any type of kind of dessert like that, with that chocolate feel. Something maybe a little bit more fudgy type base. But I will say, if you're not a fan of hazelnut, this one will probably not appeal to you, just because the hazelnut is so strong in this one. Now, usually with coffee, hazelnut is not always my favorite one to actually drink, although I will at times, especially if that's the only thing there, because I do enjoy coffee, and many mornings I do need a coffee. But I don't mind it as much in this beer here. Nice presence in the mouth from the beer. As I drink more of it down now, I'm getting more of the feel in the cheeks area. It's warming up. I'm getting a little bit more of a chocolate type feel from the malts as well. That malt sweetness there, though. I would think with this one, a lot of people might want to split it up because they could get overly sweet at a point. But it is so damn good. If you like decadence and some of your stouts, it's got a nice decadent feel to this one as well. But a nice beer from Prairie overall. Not complaining any bit. Definitely enjoying it. And would definitely say, if you happen to see it, pick it up. Now, I don't know any availability. I believe it's one of their seasonals. So I'm not sure how much more of this is actually still out there. But if you happen to come across it, I got this one on keg, like I mentioned. I would definitely say give it a go if you are a big stout fan. Hey, what's happening, Coach? Cheers, my friend. What do you have going on tonight, Coach? Are you drinking on anything, my friend? Or is Mrs. Mandy Robinson drinking on anything there with you? Hey, what's happening, Alan? Cheers, my friend. What is going on, brother? I enjoyed the Magic video earlier. Well, I know I commented on it, but yeah, it made me think back to some of the old times playing. But just like DJs nowadays not having to carry a lot of records, now you don't have to carry around all the cards because you can play electronically. But it was cool to check out your video earlier. Craig just finished a beer from Verdant. Neil gets things done in New England IPA, 6.5% brewed with Simcoe, Citra, Mosaic, and Nelson Sauvin. Very nice. And again, how do you get verdant and you're in another country and I can't get verdant here? That's just the trouble with the distribution laws. Craig is over in the UK. He can get verdant brewing. We're in the States and we can't get verdant brewing unless you're close to where the brewery is. Just one of those things. Hey there, Beer Hound. Cheers, my friend. How are you this Saturday evening? And what are you drinking down, Hound? What do you got going on tonight? And again, for those of you that just arrived, I am actually drinking a crowler of the Prairie Screenshot. And since I have this in a crowler, I'll pull up the screen here so you can see it. But this is 11% Imperial Stout with hazelnut roasted coffee. Very nice, very sweet, very hazelnutty. The hazelnut comes right through. If you're a coffee fan and you like hazelnut coffee, this is definitely one that you should check out if you're a stout fan as well. I was going through deleted videos that I had already edited and realized I had a tech video I hadn't released yet from last week, so I released that tonight. Weird stuff. Well, it's a nice surprise you found a video that you could release there that you have missed before. What did you title? Like Lost and Found in any type of way? Oh, Alice says cheers to the Beer Hound. Oh, UK brewery. So maybe over here then I guess we're getting it in certain states because I hear people getting verdant. I assumed it was an American brewery. Let me take a look here. I guess I'm just not in the spot in the States that can get it then. But you've gotten other stuff, Craig, that we don't get in certain parts here. I guess I'm just so used to watching you guys over in the UK, I'm just kind of thinking of that with ours. So many craft breweries everywhere now. Definitely need to get over to the UK at some point, though. That's for sure. So are you still doing a lot of the Cloudwater beers, Craig, at all? I know you were like the first one that put me on watching about the Cloudwater, so that's one I would love to get over here at some point, too. Fremont Pace Danger IPA 7% ABV, so tasty. Nice. Yeah, Fremont's Northern Cal, I believe. I heard some good things about them. Was going to a title of the video, fell in love with an AI, but went in simpler direction with it. Well, it's all about what people may be searching for too, I guess. You gotta come up with a way that the YouTube algorithm approves, but at the same point gives your people what they were expecting. 11%, nice ABV, yeah. Not a bad way to get it started. I was gonna drink the Elysian barley wine that I also have down there. That is at 15% ABV. And then there's another one. Oh, the other one I have is the Lagunitas Willatize Stout for this year. That's, I think, 12.1. So those are the other two crowlers I have. But I've also got a few bombers I need to drink in a few smaller sizes. But being a weekend, I figured a nice time to get a crowler size in and not have to feel the repercussions of it the next morning. If any did happen. Beer Hound said, an eclectic beer. Happy Saturday, me, brother. How was it? Cheers to you, Beer Hound. Sorry, it's called Space Danger. It's very floral and piney, super crushable. Did you get a 6-pack of them, or did you just get one, or? Nothing wrong with a crushable beer, that's for sure. Had a big stuff. It's decent, but not a well beer. Oh, okay. You know, from all the Cloudwater stuff I saw, well, it's good to see that they're doing stouts too. I guess I've just been so used to them always doing like the IPAs, it seemed. But I guess nowadays you got to be able to, flip over for some of the breweries. You're finding more and more having more options available. Six pack, 17 days old, $12. Not bad for a good crushable IPA. Yeah, it's funny on my Facebook page. I watched a YouTube video yesterday from Urban Artifact, and they were actually at the one of the conferences. And Urban Artifact is one of our local breweries here, and they do wild and sour ales. But they were talking about the beers they make and the costs that are involved. And from their perspective, it was really interesting. But they were talking about how they charge, for their 4-packs that are usually, could be a 12-ounce, could be a pint can, depending. But you're looking at price points from 14 to 19. But the way they explained it, because they do a ton of fruit into these type of things, why they cost as much. Now, their fruit and stuff they put into theirs is higher than I think what they put into the 450 North type situation, I believe. But they're coming up with high ABVs on their stuff. So hopefully their stuff, I've never tested it, but I'm thinking it's up there as well. Ever since the 450 North type thing, you're wondering, are these ABVs actually accurate when you're getting these fruit beers? One would hope. Yeah, this is one smooth beer. So anybody got anything going on this weekend? Anything else happening for anybody out there? Fremont beers have a good twist to them. Changes things up with the artisanous aspect they have. Nice. Yeah, Beer Hound. I don't know if you've ever watched Tanya Mikowski's channel. But Tanya Mikowski is actually there in the San Fran area. And she gets a lot of beers from up around Northern Cal. You probably will see some stuff that you guys come across and everything. So you should definitely check out her channel as well. With 450 North. Well, the last thing that happened with 450 North, there were some complaints that came in. So the Indiana Alcohol Bureau sent out someone to investigate it. They ended up finding that they really didn't do anything wrong, which still not fully sure on that. But they are now detailing the ABV on their can. They had a release that came out. They didn't put the ABV on. They kind of put a black marker over it. And then the new releases starting this year are supposed to have the actual ABV on it. So they said they were flawed in their measurement type stuff. But I guess because it wasn't intentionally done, that Indiana didn't slap them with a fine or anything like that. But every time they post stuff now on Facebook and their page about new releases, people are like hammering them, about the ABV stuff. So it'll be interesting how they go forward. One thing that was noticed, their last release, usually they clear out when they have beers come out. Like usually everything is going like that day or two, and they had a good amount of stuff left over. So I think it's kind of been a lukewarm reception since it all happened. So time will definitely tell how we go forward. Her channel is Tanya Mikowski. Let me grab her channel here and I'll put it in the comments for you. Give me 1 second. Oops. I actually hit the wrong button in her last name. So that's her last name. But yeah, she actually reviews stuff out of Northern Cal. She actually sent me a thing. She was actually going to be in Cleveland this upcoming week, and wouldn't know how far she was from me. I'm obviously the other side of the state, so we're not going to be able to try to connect or anything like that. But yeah, she does a good job. She's come a long way. She's actually, I think the last time we talked, she had gotten her certified beer server. I think she was next going for Cicerone, but I don't think she completed that as of yet. I'll have to find out from her. But really good stuff there on the beers that she does. Hey, so Tweety, cheers. Welcome. And 5 watching and 2 likes. Come on, smash that like button. Well, appreciate that, brother. You know, likes are always appreciated. Thank you, sir. Not had a 15er. Yeah, I've had 15. The biggest I think I've had thus far might have been 18.4 or 18.6. That was one of the Avery beers. I can't remember offhand. I had a couple that were up around that range, but I never had the Utopian S28, I believe. The biggest is actually over 60 or at 60, and that's the one from Brewdog. Their Snakebite, I believe, is called. I think it's Brewdog that makes that one, I should say. Yeah, definitely check her out. Always about spreading the love. But this beer is straight hazelnut that I'm getting on this one, so definitely a nice, enjoyable one. Oh, cool. Yeah, I think you'll like her stuff too, and she'll sub back, I'm sure, as well. Yes, I think like 2-3 years I've known her now, that doing the beer stuff and everything. So she definitely does her stuff. She's a big fan of Tavour. She gets beers ordered in through Tavour from across the country and stuff, which we can't get in Kentucky. I don't know if you ever looked that way at Beer Hound, but Tavour allows you to order beers from around the country. And California is one of the states where you can have them ordered in as well. So I know I have some friends in Ohio that like it as also. John asked, will the Packers win? I actually don't watch the NFL anymore. I see some of the highlights here and there, but it seems like the 49ers are the team this year. I know a lot of friends that are big 49ers fans, or some that got on the bandwagon and stuff, but you would think it'd be good for Aaron Rodgers to get another Super Bowl opportunity. And it'd be interesting if he knocked out the team that didn't draft him as well, that he wanted to go to. Just reviewed Will Ties and gave it 5 stars. Ooh, big 5er. All right, so you definitely liked it then. I liked last year's edition of the Lagunitas Will Ties, and I'm sure I'm going to like this year's as well. Hey, what's happening, Michelle? Cheers, my friend. Hey, what's happening, Richie? Cheers. What is going on? Says Hey Rod, Eclectic Beard, and friends. Yeah, just decided to live stream a bit here while I was enjoying this Prairie beer. Prairie always puts out some pretty good beers. Some of their beers you question maybe the price point, but then once you have them, I don't think I've known anybody that was disappointed with a Prairie beer they had gotten. So in a way, they're worth paying for the quality of that beer. Bay Area will be cheering for them, lifelong fan. Well, there you go, Richie. Hey, Richie, I just actually posted a link for Tanya Mikowski. I was telling Beer Hound, because she does beer reviews. She's actually in San Fran as well, so she's right in your area. So if you haven't checked out Tanya Mikowski, you should check her out, because she does a lot of the beers around where you're at. Cowboy or McGregor tonight? I almost forgot that I was on tonight. I'm kind of hoping McGregor makes a nice comeback, but at the same point, he was such an ass on his way out. It's kind of like, it's like, do I want to root for him the way he kind of handled himself and things like that? But I've always been a fan of McGregor when he was fighting more, so I'm kind of hoping he gets a good return. Why? Who are you thinking, Beerhound? Are you taking McGregor or are you thinking Cowboy? Hanging out, watching live stream from my television and messaging from my phone. You're multitasking, Michelle. Nice. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just put it out there, and Hound said he had just subbed to her as well, and she does some pretty good stuff with the beers, and she's definitely knowledgeable and everything, but with her being in your guys' backwoods, I'm sure she may have some that you guys may not have had and might be interested in. So, Richie, you drinking on anything tonight that you're checking out? You know, I have a beer like this, and I'm like, it's a really good beer. It's a very good stout. And people go crazy over some of the other stuff out there, whether it's the Goose Island or, which I have a few of those downstairs too. Don't get me wrong, those are good too. And some of the Founders type stuff. And they're like, there's so many other ones that are out there. It's kind of like, you don't want to get caught up always just chasing the same ones down. That's why it's fun to experiment, try different ones. I think McGregor would get him in the later rounds. Okay. So you're thinking maybe like in 3 or 4 possibly? Be rooting for Rodgers and the Packers. Yeah, Eric, who's on our Beer Flow show, he'll be rooting for you. Even though he's a Lions fan, he's rooting for the Packers to win. And of course, Eric Gilbert, who might pop in here, he's a huge Packers fan. Oh, hey, what's happening, Dolly? It's freezing over. Yeah, you're right there in Philly, and apparently, I think you guys got snow, Dolly. I know my mom had told my wife that they got snow up there earlier, and she's across from you over Mount Laurel. So, yeah, you guys have the weather dropping quickly, but at least you're not like out in the Dakotas and Wisconsin. They're expecting them to be minus 45 tonight, so you wouldn't want to be there. Mexican hot cocoa abuleta. Ooh, that sounds kind of fancy there, Michelle. Just black and whiskey, the Metallica whiskey, and a Deschutes Hazy IPA. Hey, good things come in pairs. Nothing wrong with that. I didn't know Metallica had the whiskey out there. I have to see if we have that one here. I've done the Metallica beer from Stone, which was okay. It was an alright beer. It's just I didn't expect them to use Metallica for like a Pilsner. I thought they would use them for like one of the dark beers, so it's kind of weird that they did that in that kind of way. Dolly says, yummy sparkles, love that, so she would definitely be into what you're drinking. It might go the distance, but will be a great brawl. Yeah. Just finished a hot coffee. We got freezing temps. Yeah. Are you guys getting ice and everything too, Dolly? And is it more just the cold and some of the snow that came down? Ooh, she went and got some food, lots of hoisin sauce. We got some great food places around here as well. And then Richie said to John, may the best team win, bro. Yeah, that's good sportsmanship. That is good sportsmanship right there. You know, we got a Packer and a 49 fan, and may the best team win. Hey, Cuff and stuff, where you been at, my friend? Cheers and Happy New Year to you. It's been a while. Hope you got some good things going. And I got to catch up on your thing. Let me make a note here, because I got to make sure to check out your stuff and see what you're barbecuing over there. If you guys haven't checked out Cuff and Stuff Barbecue, make sure you check out his channel as well. I need some new barbecue recipes. I'm thinking about getting a grill again here at some point. Lots of ice and cold. Oh, well, be safe there, Dolly. Definitely don't want to go out and mess around in that stuff for sure. Hi, Dolly. I'm sorry, Alan, if I didn't say hi to you. So, Michelle. And then Alan said hi to Dolly, and all good with Michelle. I love you. You guys are all so cordial, which is great in chat. So, always appreciate that. You guys, I got the best people on here, cordial, trolls are away and all that kind of stuff. So no trolls. Everybody's cool, legit, having a good time. Then Dolly says hello to Eclectic and working night again. That sucks. Yeah, we got a 3-day weekend with the MLK holiday Monday, so it'll be nice having an extra day off. And Dolly says hello to Sparkles. Hoisin sauce is a great barbecue component. I was watching Diner Driving and Dives earlier tonight. So tonight I decided, because I didn't get to the gym, I wanted to go to the gym and lift, but didn't get the time to really do it. So I got a salad for dinner and had the salad, flipped on Diners, Driving and Dives, and of course they're hitting these barbecue spots and all of that. And just watching, I started getting hungry again. It's just like, I don't know why I watch that show. I just don't know why. Every time I watch Diner, Driving and Dives, and I could have just finished a meal, I get hungry again watching all the food that they actually serve on that show. But that food all looks good. Yeah, you gotta have some hoisin sauce for sure. Me too, no work Monday. Yahoo, I'm going to eat cereal with my PJs and watch Thor. Which Thor are you going to watch? Are you watching Ragnarok, the last one? I watched that actually a couple months ago for the first time. You're watching Guy Fieri? Yeah, that's what I watched earlier. Yeah, I love Diner Driving and Dives. I mean, you get some good ideas for recipes and stuff, but Guy's pretty entertaining on that show. And the food they make is awesome. In fact, one of the places they went to was in Columbus, Ohio, which I have to go up to in February and April. Guess what? I might have to check out one of those spots when I'm up there. I loved them from 83 to most of the 90s. You were saying that you were replying to Beer Hound, Richie. I was trying to think what you were replying on. Oh, Metallica. Okay, I missed that one. Sorry there, Beer Hound. Yeah, Metallica, favorite band for most of the 80s and 90s. Yeah, that was kind of before, I guess you could say, there was kind of that switch where they went from that metal to kind of, maybe say like a pop metal. I think a lot of people got turned off at that point. I know some friends that felt that way when the 90s hit. It became like a different type of Metallica, and they weren't as big as fans as they were before that point. But you know, that happens with success for a lot of people. Have a basketball game to go to on Monday night, so I took the day off from work, and then I have a dance on Friday, the New Year's dance, and I also took the day off for that day. So you're off 2 days next week. Nice. Been hooked on Testament for the past 20. Can't get over the lead guitarist. He's mind blowing. I watched earlier today on YouTube. It was actually a video from December of 2015. It just happened to pop up in my feed. It was the Foo Fighters, and they were at a concert, and they were doing a cover of Rush for Tom Sawyer. But Dave Grohl was joking, like nobody ever knows the words all to Tom Sawyer. And people in the group they were up in Alberta, Canada performing, and one of the guys they pulled from the crowd, he said he knew all the words. They brought him up, and he was able to lead sing with Foo Fighters all the way through Tom Sawyer. And he did a great job, but I was like, was he maybe a plant? I didn't know if he was a plant or he was generally just there as a fangoer. When he got done, he went off stage and went back to where he was, so maybe he was, but it was just like, it was really a cool video. And if you guys haven't seen that, you should check that out. But it was just like, it blew my mind. And even Dave Grohl and them were kind of like, how do we even follow that? Like, we're done for the night. So. And then Beerhound says, been hooked on Testament for the past 20. Oh, sorry, we read that one. Roger, you see Avengers Endgame, great film for the death of Iron Man, was emotional. Yeah. You know, but the one thing with comic books, you're always like, do they really die? Because things can be redone, all that kind of stuff. But it was interesting, and it was almost, when you saw, not Endgame, but when you saw the previous movie, and you were kind of wondering what was going to happen down there when they took everybody else out. As they come back for Endgame, then you're figuring, well, if they come back and do it, somebody else may be out. And the one part of the movie where he asked Doctor Strange, what the possible outcome may be, how many things he saw, and he said like 15,000 or I can't remember what the number was, but only one was the way that actually did, but he wouldn't tell Tony what it was. You almost kind of got like a little bit of a, well, something's going to happen, but it was kind of a thing that kind of popped up like, interesting. So, and then he had to play it out the way that he saw it in his vision. But I thought it was a very entertaining movie. The 3 hours went by very nice in that one. It wasn't really boring at any point. So, I always enjoyed the Marvel movies. I just watched a trailer tonight for the New Mutants that comes out. I think that comes out April 20th. If you haven't seen the trailer for the New Mutants, that's pretty interesting as well. Obviously, because they're dealing with the mutants, it's still under the Fox Studios. They didn't identify the characters really, but it's got a nice little a feel to it. What did you see? I had the DVD and I agree with you. It was emotional, yeah. My girls were boohoo when Iron Man died. I mean, Iron Man was huge. I mean, one of the comics I read when I was younger, obviously, you can see over here I have comic book material on the wall. I have Ghost Rider, Black Panther. Up top I have Green Lantern. Below Black Panther I actually have the Joker. Iron Man was one of the comic books I read as a kid. I read Iron Man. I read Thor. I read Ghost Rider. Occasionally I would read Spider-Man. Occasionally I would read like Hulk. But Iron Man was definitely one of the ones I loved as a kid reading. And Wolverine was another one. So, you hate to see that come up where that was actually to happen. Agreed, it was totally sad when Tony Stark died. Endgame, Infinity War was the first in that. Yeah, first in that two-part deal, yeah. And it's kind of like, I was kind of, when I saw Captain America Civil War, I was almost a little bummed out in the ending of that, just because it ends differently in the comics, but they had the way they had to do it with the movies and a different universe and all that kind of stuff. But that was another one that was put together very well. So Kevin Feige, who kind of heads the Marvel area now, he's doing a great job pulling all these movies out and bringing this all together. They've got it set where it's projected that MCU 6, which will be after the next phase for 5, is when they can probably get the X-Men over with the rest of the characters. So that'll be interesting to see when they bring the X-Men in. A big play into that will actually be the upcoming Scarlett Johansson movie, because one of the characters in that, for Black Widow, may be a mutant. I'm not going to give it away, but maybe a mutant. So, and that could be the first introduction, because the people she's in cast with in the comics are the Russian Avengers. So it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. It's a great time to be a comic book nerd at this point, because you have so many good movies that are coming out. And even though I'm more Marvel than DC, I'll still check out some of the DC movies. I mean, people were upset with Suicide Squad. It was alright. It was okay. It was a comic book movie. I would definitely see Birds of Prey, because I like Margot Robbie and the crew they got for that. But I'm going in with maybe just a little bit lower expectations, being a DC movie, than if it was a Marvel movie. And they're rebooting, I think, the Fantastic Four, which I think is next year again. Hopefully this time they got a good crew for it. Oh my gosh, Logan was the Wolverine movie. Like they described it as the Wolverine movie adults want to see, and it really was. It was that kind of grown-up comic book movie, and really because of the success of Deadpool and Blade in the past, they were able to figure to go for Logan with the R rating and still get people into it, which they did. And I thought it was a great, fantastic movie. A lot of people were kind of heartbroken seeing Patrick Stewart as Xavier, old and dying and stuff, but it was a great film. Tom Sawyer, yeah, Tom Sawyer, great. So Tom Sawyer, obviously, huge hit for Rush. Back when I was younger, when I was going through, I've always had a musical appreciation for different things. So whether it was hip hop or it was metal or it was punk, I've always listened to different music over the course of my life. And then Tom Sawyer was the one that really introduced me to Rush back when I was younger, just like Back in Black did for AC/DC. And yeah, it's still a great song. I mean, it's timeless, really. Funny they're doing Birds of Prey as a reboot because it was a short run series. You can watch on DC Universe. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess they're reaching maybe. Makes good stuff, but mainly the Titans, Young Justice, Teen Titans, and animated Batman. Yeah, and that's what Redbeard always says. Redbeard, who's been on the show a few times, he actually is a big cartoon DC type fan, so he watched a lot of those, and he says when they do the animated series, they're kick ass when DC does those, but then they struggle with the movies, so to speak. Versus Marvel, who does really good jobs on the movies for the most part. They've had a few blips, obviously. The first Fantastic Four wasn't that great. But for the most part, they've kind of found their footing. The other thing, too, with the Marvel, so I was big on Netflix watching Daredevil, and I was big watching Luke Cage and The Punisher and all this Netflix stuff. So now they've kind of come to agreement, they believe, that they're going to have Charlie, and I can't remember his last name, from Daredevil, sign back on to bring him into the movie version as Daredevil, and then also bringing in John, I can't remember his last name, to play Punisher, bringing him to the big screen as the Punisher, and possibly going for an R-rated Punisher, which he plays. He's probably the best Punisher I've seen play that role. So I'm hoping those actually pop up here and bring some nice feel to everything. Passion of Neil Peart hit me hard this past week. Have been a fan for decades. Yeah, it hit a lot of people. The passing of Neil hit a lot of people. He's a legend. It was one of those things like, was he like 61 or 62? Just way too young, just way too early, and just caught everybody off guard. It was funny. One of the when I mentioned the Foo Fighters video, one of the comments that came in and was talking about how the Foo Fighters had 7 people doing that song versus just 3 with Rush when they performed that song. So yeah, they need to do those series again on Disney Plus. Yeah, and they may after a point since Disney has the rights to them. But I had heard before it was always an idea to get those series into the movies, and that's one of the things. Like when you watch the TV series, all of the Defenders characters, who they end up forming later in the comics, were all in the same universe as the Avengers. They all knew about the New York incident, which was basically when they were battling there. So there was always already a connection set in to try to get them to the next level. The other one coming out is, I can't remember the name of it. It's the one from the Spider-Man and the Venom universe, which looks like a pretty cool trailer. And this is with Jared Leto playing the role. So they're giving Jared Leto, I guess, maybe another chance after he played the role of Joker on Suicide Squad, which I really had no problem with Jared Leto's role. It's just, it was different, right? But it's hard to follow Heath Ledger playing the Joker as well. And Richie agreed with Beer Hound. Rush Xanadu is probably one of the most epic songs ever. Contracted, yeah. Destructed, rather. Well, that short series Defenders is really good. They could do that in the movie. Morbius, yeah. So the Morbius, which that also looks good. It's got that dark feel, but you're dealing with like a vampire character. Which Morbius would be a great crossover, right, for Blade. If Blade had to hunt Morbius or something, that would be a pretty kick-ass one. Although they are bringing back Blade with the reboot as well, and that should be pretty interesting to see if they pull that off there. Carnage, yeah. What's up, Dave? Yeah, Jared Leto should kill it on that. In fact, let me see here. One of the things I've done a few times on my channel, because I'm always a big fan of watching some of the trailers, is I would actually share the trailer with people as well while I was having a beer. But let me do here. Let me pull up. I'm gonna pull up the Morbius trailer. Give me a second here. Still jumping around with the OBS, which is nice when you have the studio mode because you can do different things. So you go right behind the screens, and I'm doing something else while you guys are watching that. If I can get this to do it, let's kill that there. And shout out to Gilbert too. I think I missed you when you came in, my friend. Gilbert, another one rooting for the Packers tomorrow. That is his squad. Let's see. The new Harley Quinn film just out. Yeah, well, that's going to be. I don't think it's out as of yet, though.
At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two, even bear and tear.
That's the Birds of Prey movie coming out. There he goes. Go Pack Go, right? Agreed to bring Venom and Spider-Man. Yeah, so for those of you that have not seen that film, let me get it over here. All right, let me transition back out of studio mode. So I'm kind of getting used to this flipping around with the OBS, as you can see. Let's go ahead and get this baby. So this is actually the trailer here for Morbius once I get rid of the commercial.
Get a quote today.
Yeah, get a quote from Farmers.
Michael, I've known you since you were a child. You're a gift. You always have. If there's an answer to your disease, you'll find it. I should have died years ago. Why am I still here if not to fix this? I have a rare blood disease, and I'm running out of time. This could be my last chance.
You're up to something. What is it?
That's not exactly legal.
I want to see you get hurt more than you already have.
This would be a cure.
At what cost? Michael, what's happening?
I went from dying to feeling more alive than ever. Increased strength and speed. The ability to use echolocation. And an overpowering urge to consume blood. How far are we allowed to go to fix something that's broken? Until the remedy is worse than the disease.
Michael Morbius. Got tired of doing the whole good guy thing, huh? What's up, Doc?
That's pretty interesting. So,
With insurance, we've seen all kinds of
um,
things, so we know how to cover almost
whoops, let me
anything.
turn this thing off here.
Grizzly. What an unlikely
Oh, you didn't know?
Oops, sorry guys. I hit the wrong button trying to cancel the Prairie. But yeah, but no, that's kind of interesting with the Morbius. It's kind of like a human Batman. Though when you look at it, it's kind of funny with Michael Keaton at the end, kind of tying into that as well. So let me see here. Want to see Joaquin and Joker, but you should see it, Dolly. It's great, a great movie. Um, it's definitely solid. It was a different take on it, and it had a lot of conscious stuff out there about just the way health the people are treated, healthcare type thing, and things along those lines, and very relevant. Just seeing the ad for Spider-Man. Um, right, going back to the original topic, why are they called Imperial Stouts? The Imperial Stouts, actually, the title is really the Imperial. Actually, came from at a point where back in England there was a shipment of beer that was actually sent to Russia to one of their czars, and essentially that beer was 8% ABV. So anytime you hear Imperial, it got tied to being 8% ABV, or more really, but technically 8% is what kind of crosses it over in the beer world. So anytime you see something labeled Imperial, it should be at 8%. Now, there are times when you'll see Imperial and it might not be. For instance, someone had an Imperial, I think it was a Berliner or a Gozer or something like that. It was at 7.5, which it should have been at 8%, but Gozers are usually kind of lighter, so they kind of doubled it, and that's why they kind of called it Imperial, I believe. But yeah, usually that's where it came from, and usually that's why you see it. It's because at least it's an 8% beer. Imperial and double are synonymous, so if you see a double IPA, again, you're at the 8% as well. Warming up Innocent Gun, Higher Ground, Highland Cascale, very nice. I'm gonna have to try to get some more Innocent Guns than the ones I just had. I've always liked their stuff. I usually, like I said, have it when I'm at a pub or something. But they make some decent beers from over in the UK. Cute. I love teddy bears. Dolly says. Dolly and Beanie. I'm an Imperial. You're something, Dolly. That's for sure. But no, Morbius is one that I want to check out. The New Mutants is another one that I wanted to check out. Talking about kind of the comic movies, and it'll be interesting to see how they keep going forward with the universe that they're creating with Marvel, especially. But DC's got some catching up to do for sure. But who else? Who else is drinking what out there? Anybody else crack anything else new open? 7.5 goes. Yikes! Yeah, it was. I forgot who had it. We were on one of the shows. Somebody said it was an Imperial something, but it was like under 8%. And only reason I could think it might have been something like that because those are usually maybe a little bit lower. If it was a Berliner, a little bit lower, kind of the sour ales. It was a sour. I just can't remember if it was a Goza or a Berliner or something else. But they kind of shortchanged it a little bit. I always learn beer stuff when I watch it. Oh, thanks. Well, I try to always. That's my whole thing with the channel. Is like I want to educate about beer, but kind of do it in a fun way. So I always like having fun trying to bring these things to light, and hopefully you guys definitely enjoy that as well. I just did the video yesterday about the difference between ales and lagers. I'm going to do another one because there is another style that's kind of outside that realm a little bit, and that's like the lambics. I'm going to do a video about the lambics as well, who actually use like wild yeast to actually make their beers. But yeah, you always try to make it fun. I try to put a little bit of educational thing, but kind of give it a twist. Kind of like when we were little kids, at least when I was a little kid. And Saturday morning, we wake up and we watch the cartoons, but in between the cartoons, we'd have the Bill and we'd have Conjunction Junction and all the different stuff back then, back in the day. It was fun to learn some things. You didn't realize you were learning something, but you had a good time doing it. So that's what I try to do. I will probably try a lager maybe one day. but I'm a lady. Don't like that image of me drinking. Why do you not like? Why do you think women can't drink, Dolly? If you know the history of beer, to go off on a little bit of another tangent, is actually that women were really the first home brewers believed to actually brew beer. And in fact, one of the things that gets related to the whole idea about a witch is that that whole cauldron and the woman stirring is actually identified as being back when women were home brewers and they were actually brewing beer. So when you see something like a witch and it's like they're drinking a spell or whatever, it actually came out of them being home brewers at the time. So there's a big history of women in brewing, which is kind of funny now because a lot of the brewery world is dominated by males. But when you know the history of it, you kind of figure like it should be dominated by females because they were the ones that were actually brewing the most back in the day. They were the original home brewers. Yeah, Grandma Rock, remember that? Yeah, so those were good things to have on Saturday mornings. You learned about, you might know more about the Constitution now than the people we actually have in Congress because you watched Grandma Rock. I mean, there was a lot of good stuff you learned on there. You learned the count, you learned the proper word construction, sentence construction, all that kind of stuff, adverbs and everything. It was a fun time. I still like to go back and watch them once in a while just to get kicks and laugh out of it. Let me see here. Stick to my Nestle quick, Dolly said. Hey, Blake, thanks, brother. Smash that like. Thanks for slinging in, my friend, as well. I would probably, let me see here. Grammar Rock. Love those Creek Fruit. Yeah, Creek Fruit Lambics. I do as well. And those are ones you can enjoy. You have a lower ABV, but it's all about the quality of the beer. So, a good Creek. I had a few earlier this year, or actually last year. Towards the end of last year, that were from over in Europe, and they were really good. And I need to get some more because I do enjoy that style. And it's just a nice one you can sit back and relax, especially like in the spring or summer. Cracking a nice lambic, being on the back deck really works well. Going to pour a little 17-year-old Speyside whiskey to go with the beer. Very nice. Do men spit in the brew? Why would you think men spit in the brew, Dolly? That's awesome. I'm pouring a 16-year-old Speyside now, Glen Grant. I once tried to smoke a cigar. I felt a wrinkling forming. Never again. I do enjoy a nice cigar from time to time. When the weather breaks and I start doing the videos again outside, as some of you guys may have seen before, in the summer and the fall, I like to sit out there, smoke a nice cigar, drink a beer, get the tunes pumping, and just relax. I like to get some more Cuban cigars. When I went to Jamaica this past year for vacation, you were able to get Cuban cigars right at the resort, which were nice. Just pretty smooth of a cigar for sure. Turn it back on. You meant a cigarette. I'm a Fira. Dolly, actually, a lot of women smoke cigars now. I can see a woman rather smoke a cigar than a cigarette, I guess. I believe they put more chemicals in cigarettes than they do cigars. But we have some cigar bars around town here, and people hang out there smoking them. I almost feel a slight numbing feeling from the beer now. Of course, this is 32 ounces in the can that I'm actually drinking. What I like about this one too is that I don't have an overall booziness with it. At 11%, some of the bigger stouts you get, you start getting a boozy type feel. This one keeps it hidden pretty well. Why is that, Rod Size? Hey, cigarette or cigar smell? Well, I think you got a different smell, right, between a cigar and a cigarette. Like, I like a cigar smell. Cigarette smell, not so much. I love an occasional Macanudo cigar every couple months with my beer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Richie. Like, I don't have them as much as they're far in between. I guess you could say a couple months here and there. Usually, if the weather breaks, I don't smoke them in the house or anything like that. So it's got to be nice weather outside. And the crack one open. Like some beers, like if you have something like this, an Imperial type stout, they pair well with like a nice cigar. And you can get the different ones now that have the different flavors or so with them. So I had one that I really liked recently that was a Maker's Mark cigar that the bourbon came through. To have that with something like this would be a great pairing. You can sit back and enjoy it. If you feel numbing, maybe they did spit in it. No, Dolly. It's just you feel like a little bit of a tingling, Dolly. That's all. It's more from having 32 ounces of the beer than anything. Anybody got any big plans for Sunday, for tomorrow? Anybody got anything going on, getting into, doing? What's up, Rod? Everyone else on the road that was listening via Bluetooth back in the house now. Hey, Dee Dee, you got any more of those Wawa coffee stouts, by the way? I'm so looking forward to getting a Wawa Shorty and a Wawa coffee beer when I'm back in Jersey in August. I already ate, Dolly. And make sure you go check out Dolly and Beanie as well. Dolly's got her food videos back up and going. Sunday, just cooking ribs smothered. Oh, very nice. Are you going to do a video, Dolly, about the ribs? Ooh, Gilbert's got a nice little whiskey there. Oh, the last one left. I know you've been liking them, though, so I'm looking forward to the Wawa beers. Last time I went back home to New Jersey, my mom got upset with me because she made this food and I didn't want to eat it. I went out and got a Sicilian pizza and a Wawa Shorty. And she's like, but I made this food. I'm like, I'll eat that tomorrow. I'm like, this is what I want right here because I don't get this anywhere. So, which my mom can cook. She can cook well, but I just knew when the whole time on the plane, I kept thinking Sicilian pizza and Wawa. Oh, nice. A video on the ribs. Now, are you going to do a video when you're cooking the ribs or just the final product? You should do it when you're like going through everything so that people can watch and, you know, do a little recipe and stuff. The Butcher's Beer Store and the Packers for Sunday. There you go. Might see the Packers. Sounds good. Rob, when is spring or summertime? Do you plan to have some outside live streams grilling at your barbecue? If I end up getting a grill, which I am debating right now, I will definitely do some videos out there when I'm like grilling and drinking beer on the deck and stuff. So I would definitely do that. We actually have a thing through work where we get these bonus type things, and it looks like I got enough I can actually get a grill, which is great because I can just have it ordered to me and I'm going to pick it up. They just drop it off and deliver it. So I think I will get one here probably around March or so, and then I do some stuff out there. My wife has wanted me to get a grill back again for the last few years because she likes when I grill outside. Plus, grilling outside does save on the utility bills. I'm all about saving money. Rod, I'm spoiled. I'm spoiled. You don't want the peeps to know your secrets. All right. I hear you there with just Dolly with the secret sauce. Plan tomorrow is to go to Buffalo Wild Wings and cheer for the 49ers with my favorite lady. There you go. It's a good plan. Richie, I would tell you that we have a Buffalo Wild Wings right next to our house here. And I had not been there for a while. Well, Buffalo Wild Wings had actually redesigned their stuff. And I'm thinking everywhere, because if they did it here, I figured they did it everywhere else. They have a Nashville hot chicken sandwich. I would highly recommend. I had it when I was there last time, and it is really tasty. So if you like Nashville hot chicken, that should be on the menu there. I would definitely recommend, if you want to get a sandwich, to try that one. If you like spicy, I should say. Four Brothers, you know I know about ribs. Oh, and they'll tell you if the ribs ain't working, too. We might have some ribs and some grilled corn on the cob, potato salad. Can't be anybody's potato salad, though. Make it better wings, please. Dolly, you talk a lot of mess there. You talk a lot of mess. No one is doing everything always right 100%. I know you think you are. I'm just saying. You know what I should do is when I'm in New Jersey in August, I should come by and see, you have to give me a plate of see what you're actually throwing down over there. I make people sing when they eat my food, kid. Are they singing happily, or are they singing like swing low? Like they're a little upset by the food. Yeah, definitely. It's like, if you like chicken sandwiches, I'm telling you, the Nashville hot chicken sandwich is pretty good. But to Dolly's point, I haven't tried the wings since they redid everything, but I felt like the wings were kind of slacking a little bit at Buffalo Wild Wings. I will say that. And actually here, I've got an air fryer, so I started making my own wings here using an air fryer, which are excellent. I definitely recommend anybody that's looking at getting an air fryer to do it. You can do some different stuff in it. At first, I was kind of reluctant to it. My wife had bought it because I do most of the cooking here. And actually, I started using it and putting some recipes on some things, and air fryer was definitely worth it. So I break that out once in a while too. Try that chicken sandwich, yeah. I'm telling you, at least here where I'm at, the Nashville hot chicken was banging. It was a great sandwich. Singing my praises. That's what Dolly said. So it's funny because my wife actually door dashed earlier to Buffalo Wild Wings. And I slept in a little bit, so I got up and I was eating breakfast, and it was up around almost noon or whatever. So she was going to order lunch, and I wanted to order the sandwich, but I'm like, I'm not going to eat it till later if I get it now, so I didn't get it. Tomorrow, I'll finish the last Wawa coffee stout and watch the two Sariochi or Shotgun Assassin. Is that on Netflix, Dave? I haven't heard of those shows. Or is that on Hulu or something? You cook, my goodness, you do it all. I'm telling you, Dolly. I told you, you should go check out my beer chili video that I made. The chili was banging. I enjoy cooking once in a while. It's actually kind of relaxing to get there and cook and make some food and do some dishes. Do you not think it takes longer in the air fryer? Well, it was happening to Adam. Cheers, first of all, by the way. For me, in the air fryer, it takes about, depending on how many I put in, between 20 to 25 minutes. So I've never done them like oven roasting. I just actually done them in the air fryer. And no, it goes rather quickly. It depends how much you put in there and what you want to do with them. But yeah, I think the air fryer works well. Hey, what's happening, Dickie? Cheers. What's going on? John says, Wawa makes brews? Yeah, so that was a big thing, is that Wawa actually makes beers now. They have their own line that they're actually handling. And so when I was talking to Didi before, he actually had his daughter bring up some beers because she was coming up. a few weeks ago, and yeah, they have their own beer line, and people have been talking about how good their beers actually are. And I would definitely recommend, if you have a Wawa, to check it out. Dickie says he makes mean wings in the air fryer. It takes about 30. So yeah, he's right there too, about 30 minutes. Depending on how much your sauce on them, how many you're putting in, how you're trying to do it. You know, you put it in there halfway through. You give it a nice. I give it a nice shake and everything, so it gets the seasoning around. Put it back in, and it's pretty much let it go. Beer selection is just okay at Wild Wings, so I just order something mellow like a Stella with my chicken. Our Wild Wings here, Richie, they actually have some of the local craft beers on tap now. So some of them have started to bring in local craft beer, which is nice. Hopefully they do that out there as well, because you have a great selection, I'm sure. These I have actual movies, but they should be on YouTube. Okay, I'll have to look back to check it out. I always like a nice kung fu type flick. Hey, what's happening, Jeremy? Cheers, my friend. What is going on with you? And then Dickie says cheers to Dee Dee as well. And Richie says, hey, Jeremy. Not whether to open another beer. It's 3:30 a.m. in the morning here in the UK, but have a smoke porter in the fridge taunting me. Well, you know, it's always 5 o'clock somewhere, Adam. I'm just saying, always 5 o'clock somewhere. It is Sunday. Are you sleeping in? Because you have some more time to sleep in if you want to enjoy your beer now. And Dee Dee said hello back there to Dickie as well. So Dickie's actually out in Vegas. And what are you drinking tonight, Dickie? I'm sure you got a beer out there as well. And Dave, are you not drinking anything tonight, Dee Dee? Are you just kind of sitting back? How'd your golf game go, by the way, the other day? You were going golfing, which we're not golfing up here until probably we get a lucky break. It'll be in February at some point. Jeremy says hello to Richie as well. 7:30 here in Vegas, putting down some bad beat brewing out of Vegas. Hefeweizen. Always like a nice little Hefeweizen when I come across them. They go down rather easily, that style. So, especially if you're like, after you get done cutting the grass or something like that, or doing something where you worked up a sweat, nice Hefeweizen gives you a nice feel. Probably have to be up at 8 a.m. to walk the dog. Yeah. Oh, Dickie, he might golf tomorrow. Well, that's the Vegas life, right? You're able to go out and golf tomorrow. Yeah, in some parts of the country tonight, they're looking at minus 45 for tomorrow. Minus 45 Fahrenheit, I should say, because some of our people here are Canadian in the UK as well, where they do Celsius. But being America, we just do Fahrenheit still. Bad Beat is the best Hefeweizen I've ever had. My favorite beer. Dolly says needs an air fryer. Yeah, they come in handy. Well, now the thing is, what's the one they're talking about? The Ninja Foodie. Like, people are going crazy over the Ninja Foodie right now, where you can actually do multitasking with that one. So we do have a Ninja downstairs as well. We also got like a Vitamix. We got all these different things that I don't use enough of. When I was working out, lifting more, I was using them though. Wow, Vegas life, man, I wish. Dolly, I don't know if you can handle Vegas. Actually, I don't know if Vegas can handle you, Dolly. Hey everyone, having a Ranger Creek Brewing at Distilling Imperial Brown for the Texas Bourbon Barrel Series. Cheers. Cheers to Foamy Head down in Texas. John says Wingstop, baby. I've heard of Wingstop, and I've heard they have some good wings. Here's Shogun Assassin, always bad weather when I'm off, rainy. No, I never heard of Shogun Assassin. I'm trying to think. I watched a few months ago because it was back on. We have the channel that Robert Rodriguez does, El Rey, and they had The Boy with the Golden Arm on. Classic kung fu flick. Anybody that's been in kung fu movies knows The Boy with the Golden Arm. And I watched it, and my wife was like, "Are you watching this? It's so dated." I'm like, "It's a classic. Leave me alone. I'm watching The Boy with the Golden Arm right now." I need a Vitamix blender as well. Vegas calls. She can't handle this. Yeah, Vegas is always a nice little time. Always a blast. I got a couple friends that live out in Vegas as well, so it's you know, it's Vegas. It's just a blast and stuff. I actually, when I go to Vegas, I like going to Fremont rather than on the Strip. Fremont, Old Vegas, as they call it, is a lot more funner, I think, especially if you just want to hit some of the bars or something like that and chill. Also, Pawn Stars. Pawn Stars is right off of Fremont Strip too, so where they have that crew, you can go in and pop in, and you know you might get on TV or something, but you get to meet Chumley and all of them as well. Love the Shaolin Temple. I got the Five Deadly Venoms crew. Yeah, the Five Deadly Venoms. That's right. Gonna be 45. Off tomorrow in the UK. That's good for January. 45 Fahrenheit in the UK tomorrow. Wow. Dr. D, love the Five Deadly. Yeah, the Five Deadly Venoms. Dude, that that takes me back. That gets the boys to go. It's just, man, that takes me back to high school. We used to watch that flick and stuff. Saturday, it was like Saturday Kung Fu Theater. It would be on, and we'd be watching Kung Fu flicks. And whenever that one was on that weekend, it was like all the kids were on lock watching that movie. Let me see here. I think I got all the comments in there. Yeah, to have 45 Fahrenheit in January is crazy in the UK. Although, while you're here, Adam, I was going to say today in our, like every like half an hour in our news things that comes up, I guess is a big thing over there in the UK about Harry and Meghan giving up the titles and all that kind of stuff. And we keep seeing that over here as well. So they make it, I think they make it seem here like bigger than it actually is there. I don't know because I'm not in the UK, but apparently, you know, it's not something you're supposed to do. But Meghan and Harry will be in North America more than they are over there. So Saturday, yes, 1 p.m. right. It came right on. You know what day? It came on right after Soul Train. So Soul Train would be on like at 12, and then at 1 it'd be Kung Fu Theater. So from 12 to 3, you were like in the house. You weren't going to play basketball or do anything else. You were watching. You had your cereal already. You were up. You were watching Soul Train, and then you were watching Kung Fu Theater. Back then, Bruce. They said it was pronounced Bruce Lee, but I always said it Bruce Lee when I was a kid, but L.I. But he was like the TV Bruce Lee, basically. You know what you should check out, Dave, too? If you have Netflix, there's a show that I actually watched. It's called The Wu Assassin. They had the first season last year. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely say check that out. That's a nice little kung fu flick they got on there. Do I like Chuck Norris films? You know, I did watch some Chuck Norris films back in the day. I like the one he did with Bruce Lee, though. I forgot which one it was, but they had the fight there at the Coliseum. But Chuck Norris had one movie, I can't remember the name of it, but he was fighting a guy that he couldn't kill. And he ended up kicking him down a well in the end, I think. But, you know, Chuck Norris had karate skills, so I would watch him, but it wasn't as big as watching Kung Fu flicks for sure. I wish I was a kid again. Good times. Well, when we were kids, we were looking to get older, and then when we were older, we're wishing we were kids again. We didn't know what we had back then, basically. Even though everybody told us, like, don't try to grow up too fast, enjoy yourself. We still would try to grow up too fast. Let me see if I can think of that Chuck Norris movie. He was in the Octagon. That's the one with Bruce Lee. A Force of One. That's the one I was thinking of, Chuck Norris. A Force of One. That's the one he had to fight the one guy that he had trouble killing. Zatachi is called the Blind Swordsman. Oh, this is a good ale. Innocent Gun uses an old sherry refill cask and it tastes like the sky. Ooh, that does sound good. That does sound good, Gilbert. I'll have to see if I can find that one. Would I ever want to legalize crystal meth? Probably not. However, in that regard, I'm not doing it. If somebody wants to do it, they're not hurting anybody. Let them go ahead and do it. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you there, Icon. I'm all for people having their own individual rights. So, what's happening, Chris? Praise Rick James. What's going on, brother? Eastwind in the house. Are you at home, Chris, or are you actually traveling again abroad? Chris travels more than anybody I think I know for work, which is great because he goes to some really cool spots. He'll be like, oh, I'm over here in the UK. Oh, I'm over here in Germany. Oh, I'm over here wherever. So I don't hate what you do for sure. And for those that praise Rick James, that goes back to the first time I met Chris. Actually, we were talking about Dave Chappelle skits. So if you didn't know. They cuff and stuff, sees Chris there. So I saw that movie to drive him when they called him. Says, hey, Jimmy, home. And remember when you went with your friend, we as a kid to the movies, I snuck into another screen. I snuck into one playing Good Guys Wear Black. LOL. Yeah, back in the day, you used to be able to go to a matinee and sneak into a few movies that day when you were a kid. I used to try to get I was dating my wife, I used to try to get her to sneak into movies back in the day. She didn't go for it. She was just like, no, I'm not going to do that. I was like, you have no fun. It's no fun. But when we did date, I did put chicken wings in her purse so I could enjoy them at the movies. And long weekend, Chris, was the question asked there. So yeah, Chris, are you off on Monday as well, or? They talk about some companies now want to go to 4-day work weeks. I think that would be freaking awesome for a lot of people. If you could do a 4 10-hour work week rather than 5 days, wouldn't you take that? Wouldn't you rather have 4 days to just work rather than all 5? I think a lot of people would actually prefer that. Oh, he's getting that holiday money. He's going to be working, getting that time and a half or double time on Monday. Me too. So Cuff is working a lot. Not me. I'm not working. I'll be at the house chilling. Probably doing some live streaming. Hell yeah, I did it right. I mean, 4 days of 10. Think about, depending on where you're at, the time you got to get up, the time you got to commute to work, the time you're at work, the time you got to commute back home to work. If you could just get that all out in 4 days and have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, or maybe a Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off, why wouldn't you take that? If that happens, I'm going to 3 days. I don't know if a company's going to go to 3 days. I mean, that's a lot of hours you have to put in. I mean, for me, it would be great because I actually get to work from the house most of the time. So, just to work here from 10 hours at home, that'd be awesome. No commute or anything. But even if I had to go in, it'd be worth it. Because it's like, when I do go into the office, I'm better off leaving later than on time anyway because of traffic. So, gas, pollution, stress, is that right? Right. Yeah, there's a few pieces written about it, but some companies are looking. There are some companies that do that now, where they do the 4 10 hours. So, you already worked 4, so that's why you're saying going to 3. Gotcha. You're already living that life. 5 12-hour work week next week. Well, that's 60 hours you got to put in that week, though. I don't want to put in 60 hours. Oh, it's so funny. The Geico commercials on my TV set right now. They got some of the funniest commercials. The Pinocchio is the one that's on right now. He's on the dating app thing. He's trying to lie to his date, and his nose keeps growing. That's pretty funny. Yeah, working for it would be awesome. And he's retired. So what are you drinking on, Chris? You got anything you drinking on tonight? Are you going live later as well, by the way? You're going to have like an Eastwind Farms party tonight? Cubs, I was retired. Oh, 20 to 30 a week. That's a good week, Dave. You only put in 28 to 30 a week. That's nice. It's funny when I work from home here, put in 40 a week, but I'm working from the house. So occasionally we'll have family come and family will stay. They'll come in asking me stuff, and it's like they don't think you're actually working because you're at home. It's like, no, I'm actually working. I'm actually on the phone doing stuff. Or my wife will text me some stuff, and it's like I'm in the middle of stuff. She's like, well, you're at the house. I'm like, yeah, I'm working. It's kind of funny when you work from home how people don't think you're actually doing anything. Only on soup kind of sherry with this ale, LOL. Jameson, followed by Natty. There you go. You got the Natty. I was gonna say, are you drinking a Natty? I hope I'm going on a 30 work week soon. Surprised the McGregor fight is in pay-per-view. Poured the Grand 16-year Scotch and Lagunitas IPA on the side. I thought it was on ESPN Plus, but you got to pay for ESPN Plus, right? It's not on regular ESPN. I'm back on my onesie on and a fresh beer. What beer do you have now, Hound? My wife always says, you working today. Right, it's kind of like, yeah, of course I'm working, right? Like, just because I'm working from the house does not mean I'm not working. I'm still working, just at the house working. Yeah, by the time McGregor fights on that fight tonight, it's like, what, 10:52 now? It'll probably be like 12 o'clock or something. People here in Cincinnati are getting pretty happy thinking that Joe Burrow's going to come here. I'm like, I don't know. If I was the Bengals, I probably would try to trade some draft picks because Burrow's not going to be able to help them for a few years till they get some other players in place. Still free my space danger. All right. Nobody thinks I work and work. Yeah. Well, I don't know, Gilbert. Do you actually work? I don't know. She didn't go for it at all, Johnson. Yeah, I saw Australia finally got some rain there, which was good after the fires they were having. I had a satellite image I looked at earlier a couple weeks ago. Well, actually, no, beginning of last week, I should say. And it looked like all of Australia was pretty much on fire. So I'm glad they got rain, and hopefully that helps them over there. Hey, what's happening, Angel? Cheers. Just stop by and leave me a thumbs up. Well, I appreciate it. I haven't seen you in a bit, Angel, so hopefully everything is well. And we never did connect on PlayStation to play some games and stuff. So let me know if you get back on there at all. Beer House, I'm going to be drunk by the time McGregor KOs that fool out. LOL. Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be a few hours, probably an hour or two or something before they get to their fight, unless the other ones end up being in a quick knockout. But Angel, you drinking anything tonight, or just kind of kick back, relaxing? Funny, I'm watching TV. I got this commercial came up for that Peloton. And it's got the guy riding a bike and singing. I've been thinking that's the only video I've seen or commercial on Peloton for a while. Did they pull the one with the lady that had the controversy, I guess, about it? I haven't seen her commercial in a long time. That was a stupid controversy anyway, though. Work as little as possible. You know what, Gilbert? That does not surprise me at all. That you work as little as possible. What's happening, Max? Cheers, my friend. What's going on Saturday night in your world? Zantac or Pepto, huh? Well, Zantac is for prevention. Pepto's like, it's too late. It's already there. So, one is before and one is after. My son won't let me play LOL drinking Natty Daddy. Well, if you ever get to play, Angel, let me know. I think we have some games in common. And then we'll try to connect on there as well. Natty Daddy making his way. Well, Chris, Eastwind Farms is actually drinking some Natty. I don't think he's drinking Natty Daddy. I think he's drinking Natty Ice, though. But a couple people drinking Natty. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. McGregor's overrated trash. El Kooky is a bad mofo. So are you thinking, Max, that McGregor loses tonight? That Angel, I want a Natty Daddy shirt. We'll do, yeah, definitely. Because I know we're connected on PS4, so definitely. Natty is pretty good, actually. Natty isn't bad for what it is, right? It's all about your expectation and what you expect out of it. And like I said, when I used to pitch softball, I would drink Natties and be fine. Am I going to say it's going to hold up against like some of the craft beers? Well, of course not. It's like taking a McDonald's burger and putting it up against like, Red Robin or some gourmet type burger place. It's not going to be the same. But for what you have at that time, it's not a bad beer. I disappeared till payday. I feel like you're like Milton on Office Space. Like you're just getting the check and nobody knows you really work for the company. I didn't get my paycheck this week. When was the last time I had Canadian beer? The last Canadian beer I actually had was Flying Monkeys. And that was probably, I want to say about 3 months ago, maybe 2-3 months ago. It's the one, if Ashley Sexton was here, he would know because he loves Flying Monkeys. Sparkle Puff, I think, was the last one I actually had. And I do have one of the Canadian beers, I think, down in the cellar as well. So we do get some of the Canadian stuff, of course, but not just like your Labatt's and Molson, but we get other craft beers from them too. But I always check out different beers. I like to see what the Canadian guys are doing because, like Gilbert, he's up in Canada, and a few other guys that I'm friends with are in Canada. So I do try to pick up some of their beers as well. I need to pick up the Hardy beer at some point too because everybody talks about that one. Natty is an excellent palate cleanser. Well, exquisite palate cleanser. I don't think I've ever referred to a Natty as a palate cleanser. It definitely does something to the palate, though, for sure. Get your Natty on. There you go. I don't think I've had a Natty in a while, actually. A Natty Ice or a Natty. Hey, Farmall, cheers, my friend. What is going on? Happy New Year to you. It's been a while. Hopefully all is well. How's everything else going in your end? Farmall Fanatic, great guy. If you guys don't know Farmall Fanatic, I would definitely say check him out. Hit the buttons next to his name, those 3 dots. Go to his channel, subscribe. Farmall is an excellent guy in the YouTube community in that he's always willing to share and talk with people and help people grow their channels. Does a great thing on Fridays for people to build up stuff. So if you don't know Farmall, go check him out, please. And if you got a channel, definitely check him out and subscribe. And check out his stuff on Fridays. It will definitely help you grow out for sure. Going good. Nice, nice. Yeah, Saturday night, decided to check out a beer here, do a video, see what everybody else is doing. I'm actually getting a message here from Todd. We're going to probably jump on a gaming channel, do some Call of Duty or some baseball or something here in a bit. But no, things are well here as well too. So it's good to hear. And I've been running around working, so I haven't got a chance to catch up on your live stream. So I'll definitely catch up with those here at a point too. But you're always solid, man. You're a cool cat, and I always like to try to spread the love as well. Bengals should get Chase Young instead of Burrows. That's my thought, John. And that's why I tell people at work, like, get Chase Young. You got an all-pro defensive end, possibly, except he didn't really show up that much against who they lost to Clemson, and Chase Young was not anywhere to be found for the most part. But if you can bring that talent to that level, you're not going to have Joe Burrow provide immediate dividends. Plus, at quarterback, it's always a crapshoot. You don't know how someone's going to be a quarterback coming out. You look at someone like a Tom Brady who goes in the 6th round. You look at all these people that go in earlier rounds that don't pan out down the line. Although I think Joe Burrow will have a good career with the right squad. Or, if you don't take Chase Young, pick up a good amount of draft picks to build for the future as well. You know we're cool when we're chatting Natty, right? Yeah. No hate for the Natty for sure. You know, beer is beer. There's different styles of it. If you like it, drink it and enjoy it. And no one should be a snob about it, is my opinion. Drinking the Blue Moon, LOL. There you go. I haven't had a Blue Moon in a while either. Now, are you drinking the Blue Moon Farmall with the orange on the side, or are you just drinking it straight up? Oh, Beer Hound, there you go. You just subbed to Farmall. Nice, nice. Yeah, definitely. You have to get to Canada for the real gems of brewing, especially the Toronto area. I would love to get back to Toronto. When we went there before, I think it was, well, I know when it was. It was like 2010, because we had just gotten the passports. I got to renew them this year. And craft beer wasn't as explosive then as it is now. So definitely want to look to get back up there at some point. And we had a blast. Toronto was a great area. Went to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Saw some different sites around the city. We just had a blast for that week we were up there. So we actually drove up, and it was a good time. So definitely want to get back up there again. But yeah. But I think I'm going to go ahead and get this wrapped up here. And thanks for everybody that tuned in tonight. My glass is getting empty. Well, we'll be empty in one more swallow. Hopefully, everybody had a blast. Hopefully, you check out everybody else that's here as well. So, some good channels. If you haven't checked out Beer Hound, make sure you check him out in the OC. He's bringing a lot of the beer stuff in from the West Coast and doing a lot of good reviews out there as well. Make sure you hit up everybody here. Dickie Beer Reviews. He's out in Las Vegas doing his thing. Blake TV, always a fun channel. Great entertainment value there. Eclectic Beard, doing a blast. Probably Eclectic Beard tomorrow night. I'll be over on his channel for Sunday Fun Day at some point. So, Kemp Beer Reviews. Craig over in the UK doing a lot of good stuff as well. So, a lot of good people in the comments. Dolly and Beanie. Dolly does a lot of cooking videos now, so make sure you check her out. Check out Sparkles. everybody in here is a cool cat. So just want to make sure you know you got some great people around. Just give us a shout out and check them out as well. And if you have a channel I don't know about, let me know. Make sure we check you guys out as well. Craft Beer and Imperial really blew up. Cheers, fools. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I like to get back up there and see some of the stuff because Off the 10th is in Ontario, and he seems to get some pretty good beers there from out of there. And of course, Ashley Sexton's in Ontario as well. So yeah, I definitely want to check out some more of the Ontario. And we get them here at Jungle Gyms. I just need to get more. It's just we got so many breweries. It's hard to get all the beers here in the States. You got Canada. We got stuff from the UK. I got Polish beers downstairs. I ain't even done yet. So a lot of good beer stuff. Keep checking out the channel. I'll keep bringing you guys the videos here as I come across these beers. And hopefully you guys keep enjoying. Remember to hit that thumbs up if you like what you saw. And I'm going to look forward to catch up with you guys soon. Keep drinking those good craft beers. And remember, there's always time. Get your beer on. Cheers, everybody.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better come